Good day, guys. I want to do a short video for you today talking about chest training. I've had my high, many lows with chest training, injuries, lifted a lot of weight, 160-pound dumbbells on the incline, not to boast, not to brag. Used to do 405 on the incline quite consistently when I was bodybuilding, but now I'm retired. I think about now more than ever, training more effectively, training with precision. Once you understand how anatomy works and also how your body moves in space, you start to sort of have the keys to the kingdom. You start figuring things out. But first of all, before we dive in and give you sort of the blueprint for chest training, right, we need to look at a muscle-centric view. And what you're doing is you're really taking an intrinsic view of muscle building. Instead of always focusing on the outside, you're going to go inside. So you're really paying attention to what feels right. So what I want to do today is to show you some of my old lifts. So that way I don't want you to make the same mistakes as I did. Now, before we really dive into the mechanics of bringing up this area, then what we need to start doing, first of all, before we walk into the gym, we need to prepare ourselves mentally for battle, right? So we need to be up for the workout. Now, you can be up for the workout and go in completely the wrong direction because you're chasing load, right? Well, I want you to think about muscle has two ends, right? We got the insertion and we got the origin, right? All you're trying to do is get the insertion close to the origin. The most important variable when it comes to training as you get older and you start to think about maybe training a little bit lighter with more precision is understanding the standardization of the stimulus that you're using. So all reps need to look the same and you need to challenge the muscle. My good friend Ben Pakulski talks about the goal isn't to complete reps and sets. The goal is to challenge muscle. And I completely agree with him 100%. And I think this is where we're falling short in the gym, is that we're always chasing reps and sets and we're always chasing load. Understand that a lot of it is what goes on up here, right? How much work actually went into you challenging your chest. When I look at all my chest exercise I used to do back in the day in bodybuilding, I was very strong. But then I look back and I think, well, how much work actually was going to my pecs? Was a lot of the load going to my delts? Was a lot of the load going to my triceps? These are things to really, really think about. If you're a person that really specializes in form and execution, you need to look at your own training, maybe go back to some of your old footage and see where you can make those finer adjustments. And it could be just a slight degree in angles, maybe just changing the way the bar is coming down or the dumbbells are coming down. You see, I'm more of a fan personally of using dumbbells as opposed to barbell. And I have been a person that's torn muscles. I've torn my pec before, and I'm not a fan of it. I just think it's a very risky movement to be in. But when I look at flat bench or incline, then what I'm thinking about now is something different. I'm going to play a video for you, and I want you to see two different variations of my lifts. You'll see me lifting 150-pound dumbbell on the incline, and then you'll see me just last week. This is probably, I don't know, 14 years later, that I'm lifting 70-pound dumbbells, right? But here's the thing I need you to understand, that sure, I'm not as strong as I used to be. When you start to understand how your body works and you understand functions and the way muscles work and so forth, it gives you the keys to the kingdom to change the way you train. Now, your objective is to get one end to the opposite end, right? So if I look at a bench press, it's not the ideal movement because you're away, right, from the origin. If I look at a dumbbell, it allows you to come into the center a little bit more to allow you to get your pecs fully shortened. So here's my point. What I look at is you need to pay attention to what the muscle's doing, right? So you need to look. When I'm doing this exercise, which is shown right now, what I'm thinking about personally is a couple of things. I'm thinking about my bicep, right? I'm trying to get my bicep away as I lower down eccentrically. And as I come up concentrically, I'm trying to bring my bicep to meet the other bicep, right? So it's biceps away, biceps coming together. Now, that would mean a reduction in range of motion. Stay with me. Would it be beneficial for me to go all the way down and come right on the outside of my chest? Your chest is always going to be the most strongest in the final third of the exercise, basically from halfway to extension. You're not really getting as much activation in this bottom position. So here's my point. What I look for when I'm working with clients in the gym, this tabletop position where their triceps are parallel to the ground. I think that's a very good position to be in because it allows you to get constant tension, right? And now the key to this now is once you've got that skill down pat, to keep doing it and keep doing it. And eventually you'll start getting stronger. I mentioned earlier, I started getting really strong on a lot of the incline presses, a lot of dumbbell presses, a lot of flat dumbbell press. And over time, just kept getting hit stronger, 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 and not really looking at form and execution. My shoulders got worse and worse and worse over the years. So what I've realized now, that it's okay for you and I to completely strip down the house and start over and just learn proper skill acquisition in the gym, get really proficient at the movement pattern, understanding that the way the movement is flowing up and it's flowing down. Generally speaking, I like a 3-0-2 cadence, which will be 3 seconds eccentric, 2 seconds up, which is obviously 5 seconds. So I want you to think about something before I leave here. When you're in the gym and you're about to train chest, first of all, don't just rush in the gym and go straight to the bench press. Warm up a little bit, do some preparation sets, warm up sets, maybe lift your own body weight up, do some push-ups, maybe work on some scapular function. If you've got any issues or mobility issues, maybe working on some thoracic rotations might be a good idea. Maybe your thoracic's all locked up and banged up like mine is. So create stability from the feet, right? Get your feet driven and shoved into the ground. Okay, making sure that your scapula moves freely in the exercise. As you come down, you're probably going to feel as though your scapula is retracting, and as you come out here, you're going to feel as though your scapula is going to come around the rib cage, and that's a good thing. But you're seeing what type of tension you can create on your chest, right? Is it constant? Is the tension constant? You need to keep the weight moving. And remember, we're trying to challenge the muscle, right? So the hands and the loads are just passengers. Keep progressing and getting better at the skill of a movement instead of always chasing load. If I see you and I'm in the gym with you and you're focusing on, you've got dodgy form with 50-pound dumbbells, why should you go up to 70 and 80 and a 90 and a 100 when you've already got bad form and execution with the 50-pound dumbbell? So think about tabletop in the bottom. Think about bringing the biceps together. Once you reach that top position, work on stability like your life depended on it. And don't be afraid of bracing your trunk either. You know, being very stable in the movement pattern will create what we call the internal stabilization factor that's needed in order to build muscle. And the more stable you are as an athlete, as a trainee in the gym, the more potential muscle that you can build. And that's what I know for sure. This is Coach Troy Brown signing off. If you got any value from this video, leave me a comment below. What's your views on it? Are you a heavy bench presser? Are you getting tremendous results training your chest, doing it this way? Or are you somebody that's looking for more skill acquisition in the gym, maybe training a little bit more frequently, trying to get up to speed and maybe stripping down these movements and learning them over again? And it's okay to do that. Leave me a comment below. Hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It means a lot to me. Have a great rest of your day. Train smart, train with precision. Cheerio, governor.